All right, we are live. Good morning, Facebook community. It's Janet Mackay yet again, and I am so excited to be sitting here side by side with LA Dawson, who you know, if you've been following us, is not a stranger to Impact Academy or a stranger to me and the world and what we're trying to create and what we're working to build together. Now, this is another impromptu discussion which roller coasted after Raya Karen spoke last night. And so here's the beautiful part about this. If you could possibly just turn your phone off a little bit, or maybe the volume down a little bit, I'm just hearing a tiny bit of feedback. So we'll give that a whirly, bro. So those of you that are tuning in, I just wanted to welcome you again. Now, Impact Academy, again, is a platform that we use to focus and showcase information and people so that we can make an impact, who are jumping in for a positive action towards another person. And in this regard, today's discussion, as a follow-up to last night's discussion, has to do with mental health and where we're going with that, where we're seeing it go, and how we can provide tools for people's tool belts in a time where we are still in a pandemic. We're going on a year. LA Dawson and I have been in constant dialogue throughout this entire pandemic. And she is a health and life coach. She is an author, and she has also really found and exuberates the power and energy that nature provides, which is why last night when we hung up the phone from Raya, I immediately picked up the phone and called LA Dawson to say, would you be able to today just hop on, because I think it would be an amazing part 2, part 3, part 4, whatever it is, to helping people realize that there are things that can be done. Now, one thing that also, LA, that I wanted to just say was that we are not, professionals in, I am not a psychiatrist. I am not a psychologist. I am just a person using a platform to share information. So I just wanted people to know that there are people that are suffering with very severe mental health issues right now, and that is professional services that to be sought after. But today's continuation from last night's discussion is really, what can we do as just people trying to get through it all in the day-to-day doldrums or challenges, that we could help our help our mindset, help our body refuel, help our soul and purpose and being feel so much better. And I know that you too have done so much with grounding and so much with nature. And I know we talked about you last night about stone and the way I see the beautiful ring that you have on, and turquoise. And that's why I wanted to pull you back on, so that the world could again know what it is that you do and how you can help show them this beautiful world that is available to us, that can help us to heal our mind, body, and spirit.
So I'm happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me. And I agree, I would like to say that too. I'm not a gemologist, although I joke about it in some of my videos. I say some would call me a gemologist. I'm not. This is just something that I discovered on my healing journey that could help everybody. And I decided to look up some stones that I regularly use, I regularly wear, and I discovered some things, some properties about them that are fabulous. Yes, all different than I thought, because I use them, I searched it for X, and other people are using it for 25 other different things. So, shall we get started on the stones?
Absolutely. I truly would love to. And I just want everyone to know, before we dive into the stones and what it is, the premise behind the stones, or the premise behind showcasing anything, is really to, again, reinforce that the world around us is energy. The air we breathe, the water that's out there, the stones, the earth, the dirt, the trees. It's not that this item is something that we are worshiping or something that we're doing anything in that regard. It's literally just, again, that the world, we are all energy. Our
Yes.
bodies are energy. And these are pieces of our own world that's been created that we need to draw from, these energies that we just need to draw from because they already are there, right? So
Exactly.
I want to mention that as well.
And I'm glad you did, because people see me burning sage a lot and doing things like that. And I sometimes get questions about that. This is nothing to do with anything other than energy. And also I want to touch upon that it's not this big questionable woo-hoo thing, because stones have been studied for their vibration. And depending on how they vibrate is what they do for your body or your healing journey, or just in your space, they can make you feel different. I was very enlightened today. And I love that at any age we can still learn. So when I was Googling these stones, I was amazed. There's so many more things. Now, let me also say one thing. I'm not a proponent of taking a stone, let's say a small stone like this. This is a raw turquoise. First of all, turquoise is not one that you could do this with anyway, because there are some toxins in stones. But some people put stones in water and then drink the water. And they take the stones out and drink the water. I am not a proponent. I don't know enough about that. But some stones have some toxic chemicals in them. So why, in my thinking, why would we do that? So I want to take that off the table. And the other thing I want to take off the table is some stones have very high vibration. This is lapis lazuli. I was in a class learning about stones, and there was a woman there who said she put it over her eye and had a stroke in her eye. Can't confirm, can't deny, don't know why people are doing things like that. So this is an entirely different thing, but these are disclaimers that we have to make because we're not professionals at this. This is just things that we have discovered to help with mental health. So let me start. I am going to actually start with citrine. Yellowish. And I have always used this for prosperity. In the right corner of my first floor, I will put it on the floor, cleanse it periodically, wash it in soap and water, and put it in the sun or the moon overnight. But listen to what I learned on the internet. It relieves fear and anxiety. Wasn't looking for those things, so it didn't come into my world. It helps you think clearly. So if you put a piece of citrine on your desk, it helps you with focus and clears your mind. It's a variety of quartz, and it brings happiness, joy, and positivity. Shocking, because I thought it was only prosperity. So now as I list these things and we go over these stones, think about a place where you could put a grouping of stones that when you walk by, you know that their properties are this, and you be aware of what your sensation is when you're near them. Because with stones, we do three things. We wear them, we carry them, or we place them. So depending upon what kind of energy you want, how much you want. So that was that stone, and that was a real big surprise. Now the next one is not such a big surprise in two forms, and it is it's hard to see the color. This is a shale, and it's a pale lavender color, and this is the stone, the actual stone. So here are the two different kinds. This is lepidolite, always known for anti-anxiety, at least in my book, but a lot of people talk about this. This is something that you give a child on the first day of school to carry in their pocket if they're nervous for preschool or something like that, with instructions not to put it in your mouth. So lepidolite is great when you're going through a transition and you need to tune in and be aware. of whatever it is your transition is. Because if you're transitioning from one place in your life to another, if you're not aware, you're not going to have those opportunities to learn. Then emotional balance, prayer, and meditation. So it's a fabulous stone to use when you meditate. Hold it in your hand, place it on your table nearby. Rare to find a necklace or jewelry with lepidolite, but it exists, but you would have to search. I'm going to give Etsy.com a little bit of a buy from me, because that's the place to find the best stones. So it also, this is fascinating, releases bad behavior. So I'm thinking of the pandemic. Everybody's a little cranky, grouchy, feeling uncomfortable, right? So this is another good characteristic of the stone. Overcomes emotional dependency. So it works in relationships. Excellent for anxiety. Use it myself. Self-love and trust. Now, I don't know about you guys, but during the pandemic, I questioned everything about me, good, bad, and indifferent. Why? Because I had time to do it. So I think that this kind of a stone is like for everything. But here are two things, and I want to share these with you, and I don't know if it's true. I've never tried it for that. But some people claim that it can restructure DNA and help with the immune system. That is something I have not studied. But for me, just the fact that it's anxiety, meditation, prayer, and possibly immune system, this would be something that would be in a place in my house where sun could get to it, so it could constantly be cleansed, and it would be part of my pile, my healing pile.
Mm.
So, okay, now this lapis lazuli, it's not my favorite. The color's beautiful, but I'm not drawn to it. But I picked up this stone for some reason, and it's a wisdom stone. So everything that I'm telling you about all these stones touches on mental health and the stress and overwhelm that we're all feeling in this pandemic. And I didn't realize, because I was using them for a slightly different variation. So this stone this is fascinating, loved by the ancient Egyptians, and they used to grind it up and make eyeshadow. They were pretty creative with makeup. With eyeliners, they ground up coal and they put that inside the line. It was very fascinating. Protection. So protection against negative energy. Now, why that's so fascinating is we're talking about energy. This is all energetic principles. That's what it's all about. So we are protecting our immune system with this stone and our energy. So Janet, I know you have to have experienced this. Have you ever spoken to somebody that drains you with their negativity?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a really bad feeling. And this is a stone, I mean a smaller version. This is really heavy, this little piece here. It's very, very heavy. You couldn't put that in your pocket. But you could put a little stone in your, and they do make lapis lazuli jewelry, but you could put it in your pocket. And every once in a while, bring it out. So healing properties and soothes inflammatory responses. That's really big. Because when you are stressed, when you are worried, it goes right to the gut where 70% of your immune system is. So if you can't hurt yourself with this, why not try it, right? Why not try it? And again, this isn't me saying, I discovered this. I didn't make any great discovery. Scientists did, and it has been studied. So, but I can't claim for the soothing inflammation or the protection, because I've never used that for that. So, but I'm sure for protecting against negative energy, it would give you some feeling of relaxation. Now, it reveals your inner truth. If you're searching for a soul's purpose, a destiny, it helps you with that. So that suggests it's used for meditation. Here's a really cool thing. They claim that it lowers blood pressure. So I know there's a lot of people here that maybe could put it in their pocket and walk around with it and just see. You don't know. Again, we can't make any claims, but this is what is written. Vertigo, and it helps with mental balance and depression. So this is just drawing from God's bounty, just like hugging a tree, just like walking barefoot on the earth. It's all energetic and it's all there for us. The thing is, there's so many stones and so many ways to use them and so many properties and principles. So I brought it down to the ones that I know like people are attracted to more. So the next one is amethyst, and the literal meaning translated from Greek, let me get my amethysts, is not intoxicated. Interesting. Now this is a beautiful amethyst point that someone gave me with this beautiful white line going through it. And a point just has a little bit more power because it's more directed, or energy. I'm not going to say power. I'm going to use the word energy again. Now, it's known for bringing tranquility and calm. Groundedness is the word they use. So imagine walking barefoot on the grass, holding a piece of amethyst, how you would feel. So everybody out there suffering from all this overwhelming stress, this is so simple. This is so simple. Personally, I go out year round and put my feet barefoot on the ground in the snow, not in the ice maybe, but in the snow, even if it's just for a second. But imagine doing that with amethyst. Never knew to do it. Definitely going to do that.
I have to tell you that this morning I went out, and I typically, you know, that I go to my beach, or I'll go, you know, to walk with nature, and it's just such my beautiful, happy place. Well, today I didn't have an opportunity to do that, but I went around my neighborhood and just got my body into some physical motion. I got back to my house. I sat on my stoop. I took off my socks and my sneakers because the snow had melted last night.
Yes.
And literally walked around my front yard in my bare feet in the 28-degree weather, or whatever it is what it is today. And again, I felt the sun on my face. And again, my neighbors were probably like, what is she doing now? But I have to tell you, it is something that it's easy to do in the spring, the summer, the fall. And after our dialogue last night, I said, you know what? And it felt so good. It just felt so good. And if that's all that comes of it, I mean, why not? Anything that we can do that can make us just feel so good for a split second. So I wish that we had talked before, or I'd heard this conversation before, because I would have grabbed an amethyst, one of the stones that I collected, and I'll talk about where I found some of mine later, because that really would have been amazing. But needless to say,
and it's, it can't hurt you. That's why I say I don't drink, I don't ingest, I wouldn't do anything like that. I wouldn't put over my eyes or stuff. But you can meditate with certain stones, like on your stomach. But again, just research, be curious about nature around you and how it can help you. And I know I didn't know that. And I probably have done it and didn't even know what I was doing with the stones in my pockets or around my neck. I mean, sometimes you'll see me with lots of necklaces and all different stones. But sometimes when you do that, it's an overload of energy. So listen to your senses. You will absolutely know. But there's a few more with amethyst that is, again, it's the immune system. So I've named a lot talking about the immune system. So this is a good one to put into your pile, because let's face it, we're all talking immune system because we're living in a pandemic, right? We just want to strengthen it. If you looking at that and walking by and saying, that may be helping me, that positive thought gives you that positive mindset, gives you the hope, gives you the change in your metabolic structure. It does. So speedy recoveries with serious illnesses. I never heard this one before, which is fabulous, because again, it can't hurt you, right? Grief. It works when someone is suffering grief. Now, it's another stone that I'd love for you to put at your desk because it gives you creative output. And the deep color of this one is a deep purple. It represents wealth and status. You know, it's a color of royalty. So if you're trying to increase your business, you know, it's another one you could hold while you were working or while you were thinking. And sharing, if you're in a relationship and it's lethargic and stagnant. So if you're that one person that can't share and can't communicate with your spouse, try holding an amethyst. I remember once I was dating someone and he was having trouble with a boss. And I gave him a stone. And when he sat down, here's to put this stone, which is black tourmaline, in between himself and his boss. And his exchanges went better. I don't know if it was because I told him it would, because of the characteristics of this, which we'll get into in a moment, but it works. And everybody's kind of tuned into it now, right? They're tuned into the stone and the crystal thing. So, okay, so we know my favorite.
Look at that. Oh,
My goodness.
Now, LA Dawson, I know that you wear turquoise all the time. You've got this exquisite jewelry that has even been gifted to you from people, which makes it even that much more special. But you've just, you know, you are so, that is your stone. And I know that that's also your favorite color that you like to wear, that you like to just have around you at all times. So why? What is it about turquoise with you?
Okay, so everybody pay attention to what you're attracted to in colors and in the stones, because it can affect your mood. Now, we all know I have a little bit of Native American in me, and so it's our stone, first of all. That's one thing. But you're attracted to, if you are to believe some of the research, what you need. And for me, it started in Cape May collecting stones. A grist mill had emptied all their leftover pieces, and 20 years later, on this one day on that beach in Cape May, I was collecting them furiously, not knowing what they meant, and then looking up the meaning, and it was all healing. And I had just had that treadmill injury, just been paralyzed from Lyme, and had a terrible neck injury. So frequently you'll see me with big pieces of turquoise around my neck with a little copper ring around my neck, because the combination of copper and turquoise is the most healing in terms of jewelry. So that is a very good thing to wear around your neck if you have a neck injury, because I know that works, but there's so much more to it. Okay. It helps you set intentions for your healing. So I would just know it was going to heal me and I put it on, but now I know, set your intentions. This is going to give me less pain during the day. I love that idea. It causes calm and tranquility. Absolutely does that. I would say if you wanted to carry one stone, turquoise is it. Turquoise is good pretty much for everything. Energetic protection again. So now, here's an interesting thing. We talked about the energy exchange between people and how they can take from us or they can give from us, right? If they can do one, they can do the opposite. But energetic properties of your computer. Now, everybody who knows me, I am not the savviest on all the stuff of the computer, but I'm not to blame. Yes, it's the truth. And I try.
You are really growing in that field, my love. You really, truly are. I commend you for that.
Thank you. Oh my God. Well, it's not just me though. Because of my energy, it can interact with electric items and mess it up. And this is not me making up excuses. Believe me, I wish it was. But it happens, and that's the black tourmaline. I have this whenever I'm doing anything on the computer, but let me show you the size of the stone that I use. Okay.
If you're putting that on the computer, no wonder your computer is having issues.
Well, no, it's near me. It's near me when I'm doing anything on the computer. This
That
thing
is exquisite. Can I just tell you that that is an exquisite piece of art for your
it is.
home? It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. And this is white and black tourmaline, but it's
Mm.
mostly black. And I have that near my computer. Now it doesn't work. Okay, okay, I'll explain this to you. Did you ever see a person walk onto a light and the light goes out? Did you ever see that? Or did you ever have that happen to you? Like frequently? As an energetic thing of that person's energy with electric things. So this is to interrupt it. That's one of its properties, okay? It's to interrupt it. This is also, oh wait, I'm on the, all right, well, let's go back to the turquoise and get back to that. But I did want to tell you that while we were on that subject. Now, so meditation. Do you meditate?
I pray and meditate every day. Yes.
Okay, so this and this, these are two stones, these are different versions. And this one's been polished, by the way, and this one has just been buffed. Isn't that gorgeous? This is Arizona. This might be China. You could, Chinese turquoise is got a lot of, it's like a lot of brown spotting in it. This is Royston ribbon. You see the long line through it? That's Royston ribbon. So, okay. So physical, emotional, and mental protection. Sounds like a COVID stone for me. And when you wear it, when you are using it for protection, just say, I am protected. Say a mantra, say something, whatever works for you.
It's just like the armor, right? God's armor that provides us. It's just something that's there to protect us, right?
And remember, yes, like the arm, put on the armor of God. That's what it says to do every day, right? So, so this is the armor. This is not in the biblical sense, but he provided us with these stones, and he made me Native American, and he made you what you are in your DNA. So there are things in our history, in our DNA, that make us more susceptible to being interested in this, let's say, because I'm out there, but I wanted to find out if there was a science behind it, and there's a science behind it. So let's go back to the tourmaline now, okay? Repels negativity, increases positivity, and enhances creativity. Did I say that one already? Okay. And protects against not only things going wrong with your computer, but electromagnetic pollution. So there's like a negative energy that comes from sitting in front of an electrical thing all day. And you have to clean yourself of that. So this is another sit by the desk thing, if you're a person who sits by the computer all the time. And it's just so fascinating. Now, this is a big stone. Give me a second, I gotta grab it. This is called celestite.
Oh, yes.
This one.
Oh, yes. Yes. I remember receiving those as a kid, and it was the orb when you got to crack it open, or it was quartz or whatever.
The geode, yes.
Yes, that's just another beautiful piece. And I just, again, have to say that if you are looking for art, natural art for your home, these stones are gorgeous, just absolutely so gorgeous. And like you said, in a beautiful little pile that is there, that's just an energetic bowl for you.
Yes.
It's just beautiful with some candle or whatever it is, just some decorative. It's just, those stones are gorgeous. I can imagine even having a light shining on that one and just seeing all of the intricate sparkles. And I mean, to me, I would look at that and it would just make me feel happier.
That's it. And I have a corner in my house, and I do this in my health and life coaching. I help people make their homes feel energetically comfortable, cozy, warm. And one of the things is by using the stones and changing things around a lot, because energy gets stagnant. Putting African violets near all around their house, wherever there's some sun coming through, because that removes negative energy. And when the violets die, it's okay, because they were absorbing negative energy. So somebody walked in your house or you were in a bad mood or whatever. Yes, 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 yes.
I just had one of those, and all of the flowers they were gorgeous flowers, and they all just fell, and now there's just this stem.
Well, you're busy right now, and you're going to another state, and that causes stress. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
violet said, okay, uncle, and that's good. It's not bad. And people worry that the plant is dying. No, don't worry about it, because but they're a little finicky, and you have to put them with a lot of light but not heat, like in the summer if that window gets too hot. But this is a carved heart out of celestite, and it was shinier. What happened was I left it out one day in the rain, and it changed the outside of it, which probably wasn't a good idea. But so it helps when you're dealing with anger, the celestite, that beautiful big blue stone. And it gives you a sense of peace. So there is a thread running through all these stones: tranquility and peace. And so this is why it's interesting, because remember I said, look at what's attractive to you. What do you like? And say I just bought all stones and didn't know anything about them. Well, now I'm being re-educated that I really needed a sense of peace and calm, because that's what everything says, right? That's the thread running through it. So that gives you a clue as to what's going on internally in your stress level. When you're attracted to that same kind of thing that does the same kind of thing, you need it, which is fascinating, because I didn't do that on purpose.
Right. It is so fascinating.
It is. It's your own body, your gut, your body, your assessment of things and people. It gives you information, and it's our fault if we ignore it. That's all. It's simple, right? So it emits, and this I love, a soft, positive energy. Now it's because celestite, like from the stars, from the angels. So I look at that, and it reminds me of the wings of the angel that was with me when I was on the treadmill that day. And it is soft, and it is positive, and it's a little different from the other energies of the stones. Again, the lapis lazuli, which like hits her with a head with its energy. Like holding it to my face like this, I can feel something, and it's the energetic exchange. So, okay, how about this one? Purity of heart, hope, and good fortune. It's a stone of love, like love for yourself, truth, giving. People, when they walk next to that stone, they're like, wow. And by the way, when we were talking about the amethyst, not to go back and forth, but these stones are powerful. And sometimes people walk in front of them and they feel something. I had somebody at a party at my house once, and he had to back up. And there's a place in Manhattan. Yeah. So I'm bringing up the amethyst again, because next to the celestite, the purple and the blue, it's a very loving, beautiful combination. And I just naturally was putting them together, and they belong together. They work well together. You give to children if they're afraid. That's why those celestite stones were given to us as kids, I think. Yeah, the geode that you broke open, and inside were those beautiful crystals.
Oh, magic. Yes.
It is magic. Here's something fascinating. If you have a tendency to faint, carry one of these stones, according to the research that I did. It stimulates your creativity. It acts like a guardian angel. That's exactly how I feel when I have that stone around me. Exactly. Slows down, this is a really good one too, the incessant chatter in our brains. So with COVID, with the election, with all the crazy politics and things, that's going on with everybody. So why not try a little piece of celestite? And it heals grief and despair. That's a beautiful stone. It's a beautiful stone.
That is a beautiful stone.
Okay, now
I'm so blown away by all of the information that you're sharing, and I'd love to hear from the people that are watching. Share this with other people. Give us some, let us know that you're out there and you're hearing this. Veronica, we see you. Thank you so much. And because again, this is a platform to share information, and what beautiful information you're sharing, because half the time, we take our kids, I take my kids on walks for the beach, and we always bend down, like they always seem to find out of all those stones and shells that are scattered on a beach. It's just so beautiful. The ones that they bend down and they pick up and they race over to you to look, the one I found. Yeah. And it's like out of all those stones, there's just something that called them to that stone. And the fact that we've been gifted all of this beauty that's already just out there, it just blows my mind so much. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing when you stop, look, listen, and hear the world that's out and around us and get out of our head.
Agreed. And when I was on that beach in Cape May trying to find these stones, crazy. I had this urge to collect them all. And I would bring them home and I would find these smoky quartzes this big that would probably cost you like $85 to $100. And there they were in the ocean, just waiting for me to pick them up. And it's not really about the money, but it's just about the source. The source is God. The source is nature. The source is the gifts to us from, and the light that you get from working with these stones and understanding their properties. And do we have a little more time?
Yes, we have about 5 minutes. So
let me pick
definitely, let's pick out. I know turquoise is your favorite, but is there another stone that just
here's one.
This heavy. Okay. Oh, I'm telling you. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Look at, what is that?
This is called apophyllite. And apophyllite comes in, this is a peachy color. You can see that, yeah. And a little bit of green blue over here. And then white. And I discovered apophyllite because I was having some anxiety issues. Here's a baby one that's green. And I would get tight in the chest. And so someone told me it works great if you have like an asthma, trouble or like that. And oh, this thing is powerful. It stopped the tightness of my chest. It's almost instant. And, and not everybody is going to have the same reaction to it, but that's what it is. But it does a lot of more things. Anxieties, worries, stress, calmness, serenity, relaxation, cleanses the mind and body of negativity and draws healing light to you. So there's a big pile of stones here everybody should have, man.
Isn't this what we all can do? I mean, this is something that we can do. A lot of people will sit there and say, I don't know what to do. I can't do this. I can't do that. There are things to do. There are things that we can do. One thing about the quality and the energy of these stones, I was blessed a couple of years back to go to Sedona. And let me tell you, when people say, when you go to Sedona, there's an energy in Sedona, and I lived it, and I was with some very, very special people, and there was this incredible, as we're sitting on this red rock, and where it was just the most incredible feeling in the world. And they have all of these shops where you can go to pick up all of these different stones, and I was mesmerized by it, just absolutely, because I felt it and I feel it, and it's just this beautiful energy that's out there. And I was sitting on a rock in Sedona looking up, and I'm saying, thank you, God, for putting this together for all of us to be able to see and experience. My goodness. So if this is anything to at least one person, to just say, go out there, open your eyes, pick up a stone, feel its texture, and just say like, it's just so smooth, and thank you for this gift. Always in gratitude, right? Always in gratitude.
Always in gratitude. And also, Sedona and Cape May have something in common. Cape May, New Jersey, Sedona, Arizona, of course. They both have spiritual vortexes. The one in Cape May is on Jackson Street. And I don't know who determines this. I don't know if this is science-based or not. but when you walk down that street, you feel the same thing that you do in Sedona. And there you're looking at Victorian homes and things like that, but the ocean is straight ahead of you. And it's just basically all of God's gifts. They have the power to help us de-stress, to release this overwhelming feeling of when is this thing going to go away? When can we put our kids back to school? And listen, without the pandemic, we have a lot of those stressors. So this is just simple things. Get some stones, go barefoot on the grass, burn some sage, and pray, meditate.
And it just puts you in a beautiful state. It just calms down your internal structure. And it's 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's whatever you need at that moment. And you could have different needs at different times, at different days. But take the time to breathe. Take the time for grace. Take the time to just be, and not be crazy out there.
And if you're having a really bad day,
yeah,
stop and say to yourself, this is not how I want to be. It's not how I want to live. And take the day as a mental health day for yourself and do some of these simple things that we're talking about, and watch yourself come back that next day feeling energized, especially if you're praying, meditating, and then putting some of these stones by your desk for creativity and calmness. It's pretty exciting how fast you feel the results.
Well, let me tell you, LA Dawson, I'm in the process of moving, as you know, and resetting up a whole new living environment for myself and our family. And I'm going to have an office, and I'm going, and we're literally, it's a blank slate. I can, which is really exciting. So that I'm going to be tapping into you and reaching out to you to help me in setting up. But I'm still going to do what you mostly suggest. Just go with what feels good and feels right, and that's our internal clock. That's just our compass that's just going to guide us into what feels good. This feels good, I'm going to go this way. This isn't feeling good, I'm going to stay away from that. So thank you. This has just been, you're such a wealth of information and resource, and I just love you to pieces. That. So I'm so excited that we were able to jump on after Ryan's call last night to just educate people a little bit more about some tips and tricks and things for your tool belt during this very stressful time, that we can enlighten and just pick up some of the beautiful energy that God's already put out there for us to celebrate. And I'm celebrating you for sharing that with us. So give us some comments, give us some feedback. How do they get a hold of you, LA? So if people watching have questions or need your guidance and assistance and professional skills to help guide them and learn more.
They can find me at liveandheal.com or authorladawson.com.
Beautiful. All right. I'll put that in the comments too, everyone, so that you can find this gorgeous woman living in New Jersey. And you're a Jersey girl, and I'm a New Yorker that's going PA. So at some point we will meet in person, and I cannot wait for that glorious moment.
I know. Me too. Thank you for inviting me, and it's always fun and a lot of information exchange. I love that. And we're never too old to learn.
Never. All right, LA Dawson, thank you for always continuing to be a drip that rips, not a drop that plops, and making a true impact in this world. The ripple effect of awesomeness, one drip at a time. You're a gem yourself. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, have the best day ever. Go outside and feel what's out there. It's magnificent, and it's for everyone. Bye, all.